Yeah, let anybody in here. Whatever you want. We're ready, man.
Radiosdyssey. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Quencher's Saloon Poet's 7th annual Halloween show. I'm your host for the evening, Dapper Jim Doyle. So sit back and relax as we present Radiosdyssey, a journey into the old-time radio days in a world in wonder and a world at war. The year is 1942. The Chancellor of Germany has made his move towards world domination. Demagogues wave the flags of fear, and radio programs bombard the American home. It's Sunday evening. A cold autumn mist penetrates the rustling curtains in the Jones family home, where little Amanda's favorite program is about to begin. An old-time radio sits on a stand in front of the stage. The lights flicker. The crowd quiets. Amanda Jones stands up and walks to the radio and turns it on. A voice comes on. Amanda, gripped in excitement, sits back down, puts her hands up to her cheeks, and listens intently. Adventures of the Captain Dremo Show. All-around good guy and cosmic explorer. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Benzedrine, the Ovaltine of the After Hours crowd. When we last left the captain, isolated, trapped on planet Frumporia, he was doomed. His credit cards expired. His libido lost in space, his will broken. He seeks to colonize a new world.
Exothermal nuclearizer, check. ISO laptop thingamajiggy, check. Penis shrinking device, check. Because, as we all know, space is infinite, but my cockpit is not. HBO, check. 3, 2, 1, blast off! Dagnabbit! The semi-pornoscope has jammed again. Ramrodded. I can't get through this space hole. I better eject. Now, what is this four-plane planet that I am trapped on? I must explore.
Live from RKO Studios in the heart of the metropolis, we present the Allison King Detective Hour. It's Allison King, detective of all things. When we last left Miss King and her bubbly sidekick Bucky, she was on the trail of the international drug smuggler, Master Rowe, a journey that led her all the way to the ancient pyramids of antiquity, trapped deep in the palace of Khufu. Death is certain.
Quick, Bucky, grab the ropes and hooks out of the magical detective bag. We gotta climb up out of here before these venomous snakes circling all around us curl up on our laps and give us the kiss of death.
Oh, gee, Allison. All I see in the bag are these whips and handcuffs.
Never mind those, Bucky. They're from an old case I sorely missed. Here, take my detective coat, cut it up into strips with your knife. We'll make a new rope and climb up out of here.
So Allison King and little Bucky freed themselves from Master Rowe's dungeon of death and resumed their search for the mysterious Rowe.
Wow, Bucky, you can really tie a knot. Where'd you learn this skill, Boy Scouts?
No, I never tied up any Boy Scouts. A hitchhiker or two, but never any Boy Scouts.
Quick, Bucky, what's that floating in the air?
It's a map, Allison. A map of Master Rowe's secret lair.
Meanwhile, at Master Rowe's secret lair,
They'll never find me now in my secret lair. Once I finish stacking these giant crates of full, pure opium, I'll corner the market. And I will make so much money that I will finally buy my doomsday device and take over the world. Ominous laughing. Now it's off to Brazil, where my team of chemists are concocting a mixture of opazoids and coffee beans to create the most addictive tar-like substance on Earth. I call my creation Project Starbucks.
as Master Rowe downs one lethal latte after another, Allison King and Bucky find his secret lair.
Look, Bucky, we just missed Master Rowe.
How do you know, Allison?
I'm a detective. Hello. It's raining outside. There's fresh mud on the carpet. The shoe prints point south. The illuminated sign says exit. The fire extinguisher is charged. The baseboard lighting is on. And the sign above the doorway says capacity 73 evil geniuses.
Jeez, Allison. Not even secret lairs are immune to building codes.
I know, Buck. I know.
Allison! Look at all those giant wood cases.
Oh boy, Bucky. Could it be? Might it be? Quick, hand me that crowbar. And let me open this case. Oh my God, it is! The secret stash of opium. We found it, Bucky.
And now back to the Captain Dreamo Show. This portion of the show is sponsored by Roids Radioactive Suppository Prostate Warmers, made with new and improved asbestos coatings.
Curse this orange planet. This hot magma mess. I've got to get to the subatomic nuclear chamber before the evil race of Cheeto people Funyun through the Dorito hole and Tostito this Cheez-Its planet to Triscuits. Gosh, I'm hungry. What's that I hear? The theme to Star Wars? I thought so. You see, boys and girls, in capitalist America, if you get sponsored by Quaker Oats, you get CGI and become CEO. But if your amazing space show is sponsored by Phil's Automotive Shop, you get stuck on the planet from Poria with a white-haired monkey sidekick named Chimp Pence Z.
Now a word from our sponsor. Cat got your tongue, you're a dog, but it's not your day. Then come on down to Phil's Automotive Shop, and we'll put a smile on your face. We got carburetors for haters. We got gas tanks the size of federal banks. We got chassis that will help defeat the Nazis. We got it all. See our ad in Victory Garden magazine. This week only 10% off all oil changes on tanks deployed in Tunisia. Hello, America. Your MC of the evening of Chipstone here. We go live to the Grand Ballroom of the Edgewater Beach Hotel on the shores of Lake Michigan in Chicago as we present for your musical interlude Guy Ferguson and his Swingers Time Orchestra. Guy's first selection is Take the A Train by Duke Ellington, a legendary musician who, as history records, they tried to make him take the B train, and he said, no, I'm going to take the A train. Hit it, Guy. Good evening, America. This is correspondent Roland Dreary at WHIT Studios, broadcasting on the amber radio waves of Grain Radio Station. To the mountains, to the prairies, to the oceans, white with beer foam. We now go live to the White House, where painters have been working diligently all day to keep the house white. And we join President Roosevelt for his Sunday evening fireside chat.
My fellow Americans, some months ago, on a day that formerly lived in infamy, imperial forces of the Empire of Japan attacked American warships anchored in Pearl Harbor. Very shortly thereafter, by my request, the United States Congress overwhelmingly declared that a state of war existed between the United States of America and the Empire of Japan. However, after much thoughtful and careful deliberation, I have reconsidered this overly hasty decision and now wish to change our course. I come to you, the American people, to explain the reasoning behind this rather abrupt change. As you know, my main objective as your president has been a simple one: to make America great. I have concluded that the swiftest and most effective method to accomplish this noble goal is to establish a strong and enduring alliance with a nation or group of nations whose goals and aspirations most closely mirror ours. In the current situation, we find ourselves allied with a single nation, Great Britain. As you are aware, Great Britain has been, by default, the traditional enemy of our great nation, having been soundly defeated by the United States in 2 great wars. Resentment still simmers in Great Britain over the stinging defeats administered by our intrepid forces. Our nation is tolerated as their ally, simply because they have nowhere else to turn, France. Allied against the United States and Great Britain is a formidable amalgam of Germany, Italy, and Japan. Simple arithmetic makes obvious that this current conflict pits 3 powerful nations against 1 almost great nation and 1 weak sister. Surely the United States should cast its lot with the many instead of the one. We have much to learn from such societies. Were we to ally with such powers, the triumph of our will would certainly be inevitable. Thank you, fellow citizens.
Boys and girls, we now return to the Captain Dreamo Show. This portion of the show is sponsored by Pills Brothers. Feeling sleepy at recess? Then wash down those cookies with a good stiff cup of Pills Brothers. Guaranteed to make you stay up late, so you never have to miss our show.
What's that I see? Another spaceship? I must explore. Time to put on the moon boots. Damn, size 9. Hey, Space Monkey, get me that wrench, so I can pry open these boots. Now let's explore. Interesting. The rocket ship has strange lettering on it. N A S A NASA? I wonder what that means. Quick, monkey boy, break out the decoding machine. N is for nationalism. A is for assimilation. S is for superiority. And the other A, let me check. Got it. The second A is for asshole. We found it, my little chimp friend. It's the planetary ship of human bigotry. But you kind of have to marvel at the craftsmanship of the stone carving on that Confederate general on horseback. I mean, who would have thought to put a hood ornament on a spaceship? Get it? Hood ornament?
last left Allison King and little Bucky, they had just unearthed a large cache of opium in Master Rowe's secret lair.
There's no doubt, Bucky. Master Rowe will chop up this opium into penny bags. You see, it's only 1942, and dime bags assume 65 years of inflation. Nevertheless, the street value alone will permit him to buy the doomsday device, and thus destroy the world.
Jiminy crickets, Allison. What can we do to stop him?
We've got no choice, Buck. Get the bong out of the magical detective kit. We gotta smoke this shit. That's the sacrifice we make to save the world. Here, Buck, take a hit. Just don't bogart it.
As Allison and Bucky imbibe the sweet nectar of a mellowing buzz, the evil Rowe returns to finalize his master plan.
Hey, dude, what up?
What's that smell? You didn't. How dare you smoke my shit? I should smack you.
Hey, Smack Daddy, it's all good. You see, now you can't buy that doomsday device. Not even one little screw. You get a row, you're screwed.
Not so fast, Miss King. I made a side deal with the Russian oligarchs. They're sponsoring my doomsday device.
Man, you must be Putin me on.
Little did you know, the Russians were in my bed.
You'll never get away with this, Master Rowe.
I got the munchies. Anybody else got the munchies?
Get the ho-hos out of the magical detective kit. I sure would enjoy a big ding-dong to take the edge off.
What the hell? I could suck down a Twinkie right about now.
This portion of the Allison King Detective Hour is sponsored by Mistress Foods, home to Little Debbie and her big sister Raven, where the snack cakes are made with real whipped cream. Chipstone here once again, as we go live by remote to the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago to hear the nocturnal wet dream sounds of Guy Ferguson and his Swingers Time Orchestra. This portion of Guy's show is sponsored by King Gillette Baby Safety Blades. Does Junior look like a senior? Then buy King Gillette Baby Safety Blades. The only blade on the market guaranteed to scar your child for life. Guy's next selection by the inimitable Duke Ellington is In a Sentimental Mood, affectionately subtitled, Somebody's Gonna Get Laid. Hit it, Guy. Stone here once again as we go live by remote to the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago to hear the... I missed my cue. Now, back to the cosmic creations of Captain Dreamo. In our last segment, the good captain, soiled by space dust due to too much lift, but just the right amount of blast off, trapped on Constellation Centerfold, explores the concept of colonizing space.
Thank God we're on radio. Nobody can see that we make a mistake. I'll have a lucky strike. I stand here with a wet spot on my spacesuit to declare to future generations that I alone have gone where every man has gone before. Especially when you're lonely, in an isolation, in deep space, nothing much to do. The mind wanders. These shapely Mars boulders look so busty and firm. Wait! You fool! You will never erect a pole on this planet unless you speak on behalf of all humankind. Space must be free of tyranny! Space must be free of commercialization. Space, like Jell-O, must bounce in its natural orbit. Space, like Lucky Strikes, should never strike out when it comes to flavor. Space, like war bonds, should bond both alien and human alike. Space, like the Tip Top Bread Company, should be buttered on both sides. And now, boys and girls, get out your Captain Dreamo decoder rings for today's secret message. E-A-T M-O-R-E M-A-R-S B-A-R-S. That's right, folks! Eat more Mars bars! And you will go far. Just don't forget to wash them down with Carnation Instant Gratification Milk and Coca-Cola. Made with new and improved cocaine!
Good evening, folks. Correspondent Roland Drury here once again. We go live to the White House, where our president, in an era where competency mattered, gives us news of his plans to nominate himself for an unprecedented fourth term.
Thank you, James. My fellow Americans, I come to you tonight to discuss a matter crucial to your future, my future, and the future of the United States of America. I speak to you as our great nation continues to prosecute the second and last great war of this 20th century. What must be decided by we Americans is the manner under which this prosecution will be fully concluded. As you know, I was initially selected by you in 1932 to make America great again. In that year, understandably, our nation was not described by most as great nor nearly great. On surface examination, most of the wealth of the middle and working classes of this country had disappeared or been vaporized as a result of the great crash of 1929. In the ensuing years, however, with the advantage of calm and reasoned reflection, we had learned that this so-called crash was actually a necessary and proper adjustment or transfer of control of resources from the unenlightened many to the knowing, benevolent, enlightened few. Namely the captains of vast industrial concerns of America, which were born in the late 19th and early 20th century and had reached full maturation by 1929. We know now that this process occurred as an inevitable result of natural law, which governs us in its trust in the wisdom of the few to employ efficiencies of scale to ensure that the intelligence and noble instincts guide our society to what is surely the goal we all share: attainment and maintenance of American greatness. We share such enduring philosophies with our Axis allies in the current Great War, the Third Reich, the Empire of Italy, and the Empire of Japan. To be sure, it is true that these like-minded nations may not particularly desire American greatness, but we are confident, As the war draws to its conclusion, events will transpire. When hostilities cease, the single nation that will emerge triumphant and glorious, under God and primacy over all others, will be our United States. For these reasons, I come before you to announce my candidacy and implore you for your support for the presidency to be decided November 1944. Our converging designs for the future of our nation and the world are proceeding rapidly. In my presence and foresight, to effect our goals is absolutely required. There is no other option. Please support my candidacy in 1944. Thank you, and may God keep you.
And now back to the gumshoe. No, literally, she has gum on her shoe. Allison King, Detective Hour.
So, Ro, now that you, me, and Bucky got lit as shit, can't we just all get along? Smoke our differences away? You know, like a peace pipe.
Oh, Miss King, I sure gave you a piece of my pipe, but now it's time to give you a piece of my mind. I think you're aces, kid. A real catch. I was hoping you would catch me. Maybe even take me on your knee, spank me. I want to bond with you.
Allison! It's a trap! He doesn't really love you. He even made you pay for parking when he pulled up to the secret parking lot outside the hidden lair.
Don't believe Bucky. All I want to do is make you my queen.
But I'm a king.
I have to take a whiz. Master Rowe, where is the gender-neutral bathroom?
Next to the salad bar, Buck.
I agree, Ro. We need to put our differences aside and trap the true minister of crime, the one who destroys the world even without a doomsday device.
You can't mean the Pope?
Oh my God, where's Bucky? I don't think he should be alone with clergy.
Hi, Father. Just exactly when should I get on my knees and pray?
It may be too late for Bucky, but not me. I'm gonna live a life of adventure. You got a light, Ro?
I do, Miss King. Come to the flavor. Spark a match for freedom. Feel the smoke in your lungs and live. Nothing like a healthy drag on the cigarette of life, baby.
This portion of the Allison King Detective Hour is sponsored by Flying Kaiser Cigarettes, the next Reich in tobacco.
Say, George, what is that intoxicating aroma?
That's just the finest tobacco. Those Jerrys have been quite intrepid with procuring new tobacco fields all over Europe. They've been annexing them left and right.
You must mean the Sudetenlands.
Oh, not just Sudetenland, my friend. Poland, the Slavic nations, there's tobacco everywhere. And it's our manifest destiny to smoke it all.
Boy, the Frauleins will be fawning over any man that smokes Flying Kaiser cigarettes.
I surely intend to do my share of fraternizing, Johnny boy.
Pick up a pack today.
Hello, America. Chip Stone here again. And we once again venture to the Grand Ballroom, where Guy Ferguson's next selection is When Nature Calls by Nat King Cole, live from his throne. When nature calls, it's good to be on the throne. Hit it, Guy. Now we join Captain Dreamo in his spaceship Red Rover.
Let Mars come over!
As he blasts off from the evil planet Frumporia to explore strange, new worlds.
What a thrill, kiddies! To ride through infinite space. And I didn't even need to wear my seatbelt. That's right, boys and girls. I envision a world free of the hindrances of the man. There are those who see things the way they are and say, why? I see things that never were, sometimes induced by exposure to uranium, and say, why not? Why not take it to the man? I see a world polished like the steel casing of a bullet and a magazine clip that can hold 1,000 rounds. I see the light in the black lung of the coal miner in West Virginia. I seek out the day when dictators trade in their brown shirts for pajamas and make batshit the perfect metaphor for crazy. My imagination permits me to foretell a world so beautiful you're gonna love it. At least that's what I've heard. A world where intelligence, reason, and logic no longer dominate the minds of men. Do you hear me, C+ students? You got what it takes. You got the right stuff. You could be president someday. All you need to do is put your mind in a blender and your heart in a meat grinder. Boys and girls, I, Captain Dreamo, speak of the day when carbon dioxide and lithium will penetrate the air we breathe. The temperature of the earth will rise. No more chilly nights. Bring on the heat. Penguins will finally get a warm bath.
Howdy, cowboys and cowgirls. Hi-you, yippee! Threw a lasso around Lassie. Pull the trigger on Trigger. It's time once again for the cowboy adventures of the Whiskey River Rodeo Bluegrass Band with your spurious hosts, Kentucky Tooth George and Johnny the Texas Toast Kid.
Well, howdy ho, kid. You ready to play and ponder?
Got my bottle, my gun, my horse, and my gal.
And that sunset to ride off into the yonder.
Got my saddle, my badge, my spurs, and my pal.
We'll put these strings to one of us blunder.
Got my vest and my boots, my chaps, and my swoop.
Good show, Jim. Want to grab a bite into the diner?
Let's get some meatloaf.
All right.
I gotta be home in time to see the New York Yankees on the TV.
You got fare for a cab? Want to split one?
Split it. Yeah, okay.
Sounds good.
Good night.
Night, Bob.
Good night. I'll see you all later. It was nice working with you guys again. See you back in the studio on Monday. Nice working with everybody. This is Captain Dreamo signing off. Beware evil villains wherever you lurk. The captain will be there to fight for freedom, to defend the defenseless, and to clean all that is corrupt. Come with me, my little space monkey. The winds will blow my cape, and thus a new adventure begin. Ladies and gentlemen, I present for your review Quench's Saloon Poets' 7th annual Halloween-themed play, Radiosdyssey. Good night, and may your God go with you. I know what. There's a lot of Chicago public school teachers out there who have to get to bed and do what they do, and I know all the rest of you work, and that's so. I'm sorry that I kept you up past your bedtime, is my point, and I'll introduce the cast now. In the role of Guy Ferguson, and a man who's been in pretty much all my shows, Mr. Kyle Gilbertson. In the role of little Amanda Jones, Penelope J. Brown. Playing multiple roles including Chip Stone and Roland Dreary, and the intro to all of the radio shows, Mr. Jim Doyle. Our musical director of the show, band member of the great band Wild Earp, and playing FDR for the evening, Mr. George Hurden IV. Playing the player piano and writing the Kaiser cigarette advertisement, our other musician of the evening, Mr. John McCourt. Playing Master Rowe is Master Rowe. Nico Paulus. And playing the role of Allison King, Miss Allison Bierenholtz. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you at the bar.
Everybody, let's hear it for Bob Edwards, director, writer, star of the show, our hero, Mr. Bob Edwards.
right at the beginning, right?